appear before your eyes. Love surrounds you like the sea in this family. You can say anything you feel, succeed at anything you really want to do, it'll all come true. Father always comes through with the goods.
So dance for the joy of the family around you.
Boom! Shankar Bholenath.
We were seeking something that would balance out what we saw as the horror of the world, which was Vietnam.
Om Bhur
Could be end times approaching if we didn't begin to live differently and treat the planet differently and treat one another differently.
Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat.
We really were looking for knowledge. We were sure we will meet knowledge in India.
Vedahametang Purushamahantmaditya Varnang Tabaso Parastat. What does it mean? It means listen.
And Father began to speak, and I heard him crystal clear. It is all your imagination. What you know, there's no world to change, just yourself. These are the first things. And I heard very clearly, we have entered a new period of time, and there will be not a single tear in a pair of eyes.
Today, we are invoking Agnihi, the fire of knowledge. The world must realize that we are moving through the period of revelations. You are the children of Immortal, the Creator, and He is here. You call Him Father.
I was surrendered from that moment.
He was a hypnotist, bathed in this light, glowing.
I'm not leaving town till I find out how to bottle it.
I remember scrawling on a piece of paper, "Dear Mum and Dad, I have found God." And then just sending that off. What a whacker.
My friends that I admired and loved were all connecting with this happening, this phenomenon, this individual and all the people around him, and this idea that there was this embodiment of knowledge in human form and that it was truly complete.
I swear, a beam of light shot out from his eyes and connected with me, and I saw that beam from where I was like an orbit of a woven thing.
At that moment, inwardly, I then saw the 1,000-petaled lotus.
We felt the world was changing and that we were a part of it and that we had an obligation, and I feel that very strongly. I felt that very strongly ever since. We have a mandate from the Creator. You have a purpose here.
Oh yes, it completely changed my life completely. It was all of a sudden an introduction to what the divine world was all about, and where the whole ideology and how everybody can live together much more peacefully.
We're going to come together and live this way so that we can change the world. And yes, we can. And it was still like that with the family, yes. When those Westerners did find Father in Calcutta, who he was living with was his family. Their notion of living with the family had such dignity and beauty and love in it that it just spread to us, and then we were able to take it back to our countries.
We were, as a group, of course, particularly indulgent with substances.
If we smoked chillin', we could call it meditation, we'd sit quietly for a bit, not get into trouble.
Hashish expedites the realization of supermanhood.
Really?
Yeah.
It was very nearly nightfall on the astral plane.
We knew he was Shiva. We knew, from what we could see of other teachers, they were teachers. They weren't Bhagavan. And yet, in the relative spiritual world, we were discountable because we looked like a mess.
I'd forgotten what my name was, but she didn't seem to care.
got to America and father had a child with Shotzi, and I would have had no idea that sexual activity was involved in any of my guru's vision. That wasn't revealed in India.
It couldn't shock me because back in Kathmandu, he says, I'm going to have 8 wives, right? And both of us, we both laughed, and he laughed and he goes and does it, right? That's the only.
My father said that early on, I need a baby in every household. They're me. He said, I need to multiply myself. And that was very clear. And within, 6 months, there were babies everywhere. Everywhere, throughout the fairly small family, there were, every household.
We are all gods and goddesses, is what Father would say.
And did you think that you were going to live forever?
Well, yeah, that thing about physical immortality was around in the imagination for a time. But then when Father died, the wheels fell off all of that a fair bit.
When Father's form left us, there's no question we felt lost.
So on this September 19th, 42nd year Shiva Kalpa, we remember together gods and goddesses. And we know that for 41 years reckoned in mortal time, Lord Shiva has graciously held the noxious poisons in his throat. So each of us is to congratulate ourselves and one another. For 41 years, you have held on to that portion of the infinite, that hide of Vasuki that was near you.
They were great ideas, but A, the world wasn't ready, and B, neither were we, really.
He said this and he said that, and a lot of what he said didn't seem to come true and so forth. And when people are in contradiction, I always ask them something like, don't you remember what he felt? Don't you remember how loved you felt by him?
Because we were all looking for the same thing, and taking care of each other and getting love one another. So that's really why it's a family. And it is a family. It still is, to me, a family, brothers and sisters, and being accepted and being supported.